You're welcome to my channel. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Senator Natasha vs. Senator Akpabio, how it all started. It all started 7 months ago on the floor of the Senate when a bill was proposed to rename the Nigerian road transport. Senator Natasha gave her own submission regarding the bill and what she thinks will be better. And the Senate President went ahead to take a vote on the floor of the Senate. After the vote, she tried to rebut her position, but the Senate President was not having it and called our attention to it and said this was not a nightclub. And this was the genesis of their problem.
Should not be transported on roads. If we develop our internal road network, internal waterways, for example, products can move from Lokoja waterways down to the south, to the Niger Delta part of Nigeria, to Warri and on airports. That would actually unburden the roads and will now even save and avoid accidents. So what I'll propose, sir, is instead of having it named the National Road Transport Council, it should read the National Transport Council of Nigeria, whereby innovations in other means of transportation can be harmonized. Our waterways, our rail networks are all designed independently and not in a coordinated fashion. So we would love a situation whereby every aspect of our transportation is looked into and developed by deploying the most modern, innovative ways. So, sir, that's my submission. National Transport Council of Nigeria should be the new name rather than the National Road Transport Council. Thank you.
Yes. Anyway, I've heard from those in support and those not in support. So I'll put the question. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay.
Mr. President, we don't want it to be killed. We just want a bit of modification. We don't want the bill killed, but it should be slight modifications, sir. It's a necessary bill.
Distinguished Senator Natasha, in the chamber, you have to be recognized before you speak.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, we are not in a nightclub. Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye.
So after the social media drama, the pressure on the Senate President to apologize to Senator Natasha, the Senate President finally offered an apology, which I think did not also sit well with Senator Natasha. Let's play the video where he was apologizing to her.
Stands up to talk. The other member must sit down and must listen in silence. Is a norm. And that you can only speak when you are recognized. I take cognizance of the fact that each and every one of us is still learning. Even those of us that have been in the Senate for 16 years, we are still learning. So we'll do well to continue to learn. But in the course of my talking to one of my distinguished sisters that she should speak whenever she's recognized, I made reference to the fact that we are not in a nightclub where people have to shout above the noise of the music. And the social media went agog. I'm not on social media, but my wife called me that people got angry. They published her number and said people should occupy her. So she used to receive, she received over 2,000 to 3,000 phone calls a day. And then I tried to on one of my phones. I realized it was in the public. In fact, the phone crashed after about 3 hours. So I am very happy with the interest generated by Nigerians in what goes on in these chambers, because we are here to cater for their interests. And so for them to be so interested in what goes on here means that we are connecting with the people directly. And it would have been terrible if we were doing all this work and the people were not even aware of what we are doing. But the communication was totally misunderstood. Instead of taking it for the nature of what we said, that you should not shout when you are talking and not and speak when you are recognized, they went into private abuses. I don't want to say what they did to me, because what they did to me, I think I don't merit it. I was telling DSP that it's even the one they should be talking to, because in my tradition, we marry only one wife. So they listed so many wives on social media. And at the end, it will look as if the Senate president had or has so many wives. When indeed, I'm reporting to my colleagues, I have only one. And I'm satisfied with that one. And she's a beautiful and loving woman. I will not intentionally denigrate any woman. I have a wife, I have 4 daughters. And I always pray that God will lift a girl child to the highest zenith in Nigeria, politically and in business. I also want my children to do well. So, distinguished Senator Natasha, I want to apologize to you if you felt offended. If I had mentioned that we are not in the market, they will say I said you are a market woman. If I said that you were not in a nightclub where people shout above the noise of the music, they will say you went to nightclub. If I said you were not in a community meeting in the village, they will say Akpabio says Natasha is a village woman. For me, there is nothing I will say that will not be misunderstood. But the interest generated in the social media, people jumped in, shows that you have a lot of political enemies. It also shows that I do have enemies. All of us here contested elections with people. So whenever those people think that you are being brought down, they will jump up and they will say all sorts of things. I noticed even some of them that could not pass through Senate screenings went into the fray and abused the Senate president, abused you and all that. I don't know how you took it, but I felt that I should tender a public apology to you over the miscommunication and the misunderstanding. So do accept my apologies, and my colleagues, for anybody who could have felt offended, I accept my apologies. I did not mean any harm, and I did not mean what they are misinterpreting in the social media. And I hope this will come to an end. And people should concentrate on things that will move this country forward and not things that will divide us. So I hope the apology is accepted. Leader of the Senate.
The apology video, the way she reacted, I think that bad blood was still there. She did not really accept the apology from the Senate president. So things was not well with both of them. And this continued in the next video that I'm about to play, that you see where she was about to speak and she was asked to change her seat, and the way she reacted, it shows that that previous issue was not totally addressed.
I wish Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time
to
speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
allowed suspension immediately.
You have deliberately silenced my voice and the voice of the central of this crowd. You have denied me the right to contribute to worship. I have not been able to take the second reading of my numerous debates. So, Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of what I've been silent. But I will not be shocked to the corner. I choose, as the senator duly elected by my people, I choose to remain important, the development of my people, the women of Nigeria, and Nigerians at large. Mr. Senate President, I have taken a whole lot from you. Some I don't want to speak publicly, but it's because I will tell Nigerians no. How you have discriminated against me, how you have maligned me, how you have dehumanized me. Your choice of words is a refuge and this in the Senate. I will not be one to be rich to the womankind. And I have committed to the whole law. For Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of you. You want to win, but I will not leave this seat.
She was suspended only for her to go on Arise News and accuse the Senate President for sexual harassment. She did not stop there. She took up the issue with the International Parliamentary Union.
A heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Obara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha VS Sen. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally, but I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women, because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them, yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability.
What do you think about our action? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe and help our channel grow. Thank you, and see you in the next.